Welcome to Medieval Chronicles 1066. Do you know who Æthelwold was? What effect did he have on monasticism in 10th century England? Æthelwold of Winchester was a central figure in the ecclesiastical reform movement of 10th century England. As both the Abbot of Abingdon and the Bishop of Winchester, he played a key role in revitalizing monastic life and restructuring the English Church during a period marked by political instability and cultural transformation. This essay explores Æthelwold's life, his contributions to monastic reform, and his enduring impact on the English Church. Early life and background. Born between 904 and 909 in Winchester, Æthelwold was the son of noble parents during the reign of Edward the Elder. Winchester, a centre of learning and ecclesiastical activity, provided a conducive environment for his intellectual and spiritual growth. Æthelwold's early education likely included training in Latin and religious studies, setting the stage for his future roles in the church. His noble background and education positioned him for a significant ecclesiastical career, a common trajectory for nobility in that era. The context of 10th century England. The landscape of 10th century England was fraught with challenges. The Viking invasions had destabilized the country, leading to a decline in monastic institutions. The Benedictine rule, which emphasized communal life, prayer, and study, had been largely abandoned, with many monasteries becoming secularized. The church faced fragmentation and a loss of spiritual rigor, often becoming entangled in political affairs. In this context, there was a pressing need for reform. Monastic life needed revitalization, and the church required restructuring to restore its spiritual and moral authority. Æthelwold, along with contemporaries like Dunstan and Oswald, emerged as leading advocates for these reforms, seeking to restore the Benedictine ideals and revive the church's spiritual life. Æthelwold's monastic reforms. Æthelwold's commitment to monastic reform became evident during his tenure as Abbot of Abingdon, a position he assumed around 954. Upon his arrival, Abingdon Abbey was in decline. Æthelwold implemented comprehensive reforms aimed at restoring the abbey to the ideals of the Benedictine rule. His reforms focused on re-establishing discipline, improving the abbey's financial health, and revitalizing its spiritual life. One of Æthelwold's first actions was to reintroduce the rule of Saint Benedict, which emphasized a strict schedule of communal prayer, work, and study. He stressed the importance of liturgical purity and the regular observance of the divine office. To support these religious practices, Æthelwold ensured the monks were trained in Gregorian chant, fostering an environment of orderly and beautiful worship. Æthelwold also prioritized learning and manuscript production, recognizing monasteries as centers of education and cultural preservation. He encouraged the copying of manuscripts, including religious texts and classical works, contributing significantly to the preservation of knowledge during a time when literacy was limited. Under Æthelwold's leadership, Abingdon Abbey became a model of monastic reform, demonstrating the potential for similar reforms across England. His reputation as a reformer grew, attracting the attention of church leaders and the monarchy, further amplifying his influence. As Bishop of Winchester. In 963, Æthelwold was appointed Bishop of Winchester, one of England's most influential ecclesiastical positions. This role allowed him to expand his reform efforts. As bishop, Æthelwold continued to advocate for Benedictine reforms, overseeing the reformation of numerous monasteries within his diocese and beyond. His influence also extended to the royal court, where he served as an advisor to King Edgar, promoting church reforms and supporting the crown's political objectives. One of Æthelwold's most significant achievements as bishop was transforming the Winchester Cathedral community into a center of Benedictine monasticism. Prior to his tenure, the cathedral was staffed by secular canons who did not adhere to the monastic rule. Æthelwold replaced these canons with monks who followed the Benedictine rule, ensuring that the cathedral functioned according to strict monastic standards. This transformation included introducing new liturgical practices, such as the regular observance of the divine office, and standardizing the liturgical calendar. Æthelwold also promoted manuscript production, commissioning texts that were both religious and educational. This focus on learning helped establish Winchester as a centre of intellectual activity, attracting scholars and students from across England. Beyond Winchester, Æthelwold played a crucial role in reforming other monastic institutions, including Ely and Peterborough. He also influenced the establishment of new monasteries like Thorney and Crowland, founded on Benedictine principles. These institutions became beacons of the monastic revival, embodying the ideals Æthelwold championed. The impact of Æthelwold's reforms. Æthelwold's reforms profoundly impacted the English church and society. His efforts to restore the Benedictine rule revitalized monastic life, leading to a renaissance in religious, cultural, and intellectual activities. The monasteries he reformed or founded became centers of learning, where manuscripts were copied and knowledge was preserved and disseminated. This period saw a flowering of scholarship, particularly in theology, law, and the arts. The standardization of liturgical practices, which Æthelwold advocated, helped unify the English Church. By promoting a uniform liturgical calendar and regular observance of the divine office, Æthelwold ensured consistency in religious services across the country. This consistency fostered a sense of unity and cohesion within the Church, strengthening its position as a central institution in English society. Æthelwold's emphasis on doctrinal purity and clergy education also contributed to a more learned and disciplined priesthood. By ensuring clergy were well educated and adhered to strict moral and ethical standards, Æthelwold elevated the Church's spiritual and moral authority. This, in turn, enhanced the Church's ability to influence broader society, both spiritually and politically. In the political realm, Æthelwold's close relationship with the royal court allowed him to shape policies and decisions with far-reaching effects. He was a key advisor to King Edgar, playing a crucial role in promoting a unified English kingdom under a strong central authority. This vision of unity was reflected in the period's political and ecclesiastical reforms, aiming to consolidate power and establish a cohesive national identity. Æthelwold's legacy. Æthelwold's legacy is evident in the lasting impact of his reforms on the English Church and society. The monasteries he reformed or founded continued to be centers of spiritual and intellectual life for centuries. His emphasis on learning and manuscript production helped preserve a vast corpus of religious and classical texts, crucial in developing medieval English culture. The liturgical and doctrinal reforms Æthelwold promoted also had a lasting impact. The standardization of religious practices helped create a more unified and cohesive church, playing a central role in the governance and culture of medieval England. This unity was instrumental in the Church's ability to maintain its authority and influence during periods of political and social change. Æthelwold's influence extended beyond his lifetime, as his reforms continued to shape the English Church long after his death in 984. His disciples, such as Ælfhelm of Canterbury and Æthelwold of Abingdon, carried on his work, ensuring the Benedictine reform principles remained central to English monasticism. The monasteries he reformed or founded became centers of learning and piety, contributing to the nation's cultural and intellectual life. Moreover, Æthelwold's vision of a unified English Church under a strong central authority resonated with later church and political leaders. His ideas about the Church's role in society, the importance of doctrinal purity, and the need for a well-educated clergy continued to influence the English Church's development in the following centuries. Thanks for listening. Like and comment. And please subscribe, as that will help us get more videos out to those interested in the Middle Ages. See you next time on Medieval Chronicles 1066. Stay curious.